Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, the New Order Last Days of Europe as Amur. Fuck. Now, last video, just kind of minding our business, and then Manganon decided to, fuck our shit up. Which I was not fully anticipating, I'll be honest. In fact, they have now taken our fortifications and our basing rights. Well, let's take some lessons for the Kenpeitai. The Kenpeitai, the gendarmerie arm of the Imperial Japanese Army, is an amazing sight to behold. Centralized force against the ancient Japanese elements within the country and abroad, the Kenpeitai is a pervasive organization that keeps order within the empire. Forces its will on its disloyal subjects. As a direct result of the Kenpeitai's hard work, Japan doesn't have a problem with wreckers sabotaging their orders, or degenerates trying to taint their noble culture. The Black Troops and other forces of internal security could use a few lessons from their Japanese colleagues, perhaps even advice from their consultants, in order to create a force that is capable to ensure stability and suppress of Bolshevik instigators where they rear their ugly heads. We can use the Japanese Kenpeitai as a model to follow in our beginning. Sure. I'll be honest, as long as we make it through, I could give a fuck what we mod ourselves on. We'll improve our academic base. India's main guy is dead. And there comes our debt. We can push. Pushing's not working. In fact, that only hurt us, really. God damn it. Oh, this is not... Oh, God. Oh, God. So this is what it's like to be on the receiving end of that. Okay. They're just VP rushing us right now. Oh, God. Oh, no. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, Jesus fuck. Okay. I have an idea. If we can fucking counter VP rush them, we might not be completely fucked. Only majorly. Oh, God. Fuck reading the events. I'm fighting for my fucking life. Well. Alright, I remember this. I conquered 0.1% of the world. Ugh. Yeah, Vova. Oh, God. What have I... Oh, God, Well, that was interesting. Alright, we're just gonna act like that didn't happen. So I think we know pretty definitively now. Oh, Jesus. Okay, time to speed run. Initiate raid. Should be paid. Excellent. 2 better research facilities, I guess. Tragedy, whatever. So I get to speed run the rest of this, at least. Welsh Unionists have capitulated? Right. Wait, wrong mod. Shit. I was not thinking that it would end up coming to this, but I guess it did come to this. We can give our guy a infantry expert. That actually might be a decent idea. Let's do charismatic. Give these guys some traits. God, these guys don't really have much meat to them anyway. No wonder they really started to fall apart. I can't afford to do artillery right now. But maybe I can at least do... Well, shoot, I don't have military experience. I don't know if I can really grind a lot. Well, I can give it a shot at least. We have 1 green. The rest are regular, so retreat, any won't do much in that regard. But at the very least, we'll get kind of somewhere with it. Lost 2 manpower. Next, I think... beef up most of these divisions. By most, I mean 2. Make him not complete pushovers. What are these guys' templates? Oh god, those are even worse. No. I'm fine with the motorized that we have right now, but you guys... Yeah, we have the equipment to train them over, so we might as well do that. Always good to stay vigilant and all that good stuff. Could train our troops. We'll focus on some more of that first. Meanwhile, we'll wait till we get to another 5 XP. There we go. Over crash. Dang, we're doing okay coming along the tree too, but I mean, this is what I get for playing one of the real quick rush over here. Let them try. Not back down so easily. Back to cleaning up corpses. Get you back in charge. And get you back over here. Actually did pretty well in getting us army experience. And we're more or less equipped for new guys. And I wonder, do we have enough? Yeah, this will get us a 20 widths. We don't have much in the way of artillery, but with our setup, we don't necessarily need that. I mean, shoot. UDP, Puerto Playa. I mean, realistically, as long as I have a path forward to victory here, and I don't immediately get murdered, I'm okay with whatever comes my way. They weren't joking, though. They said Amur was one of the harder ones to play. I'm trying to think of, like, the hard ones that I've played before. I guess, Comey is kind of rough, I keep hearing. I know people kind of have trouble with Comey. But I've had an okay time with Comey. I think this is where they invaded us last time. Yep. The advantage of being first. It's actually coming along okay. Next we have basing rights. So we're already kind of caught back up again, which is nice. We'll build a relationship with the Japanese. I wonder if Richard, if Radzevsky would be like a Richard Spencer type, who says he's all about his main race, but also would be attracted to Japanese women. I don't know why I thought of that. There's probably no reason why I should have thought of that, but I did think of that. Move this guy over here, try to keep him as supplied as we can. I also think our best bet at this point, because we kind of got them all assembled. Let's do lessons for Kenpai Tai. Shuffling a troop here to keep that from capitulating. There we go. And then I think our play from here is to VP rush. Because I don't know how well we can beat them traditionally. But you're here to beat them. Because he just won it in the previous save. Actually, screw that. We need some more of this. Onwards to liberation. We're taking a number of steps to ensure that our army is ready for war. First with Renegade and False Tsar, then with the Bolsheviks to the west. Strategic thoughts have been modernized, black shirts have been integrated with our frontline On formations, we've secured ourselves a source of motorized equipment and have drastically increased the discipline of our troops. It wasn't easy in some cases, the process is still finishing up, but at this point it's becoming clearer that our ragtag group of peasants, mercenaries, and ideologues has been transformed to an effective fighting force that is prepared for the liberation of all Russia. Say so yourself. Finally, Radzevsky's dreams are beginning to become clear. A Russia under the firm control of a true RFP in himself, the Vaz, the helm of the nation. Onward to liberation, to la Russie. You rush there. Let's ease off on the pushes now. Kohaku Tanaka was a rarity among the Kempeitai. He could speak fluent Russia. From Simon Harbin and working with the Russian white movement the Japanese had harbored in the opposition of the Soviet Union, Kohaku had taken great interest in the language and learned it quite well in his years spent in Manchuria. Because of this, the agent Kempeitai agent made a natural choice being sent to Zaya. It's the last one, we promise, and then you're done, was what he was told when he was protesting against the reassignment. He'd wanted to retire for quite some time. He hadn't seen his hometown in decades, and he certainly wasn't getting younger. But now, Kohaku found himself in the freezing Amur region, instructing Russian blackshirts the ways of dissent suppression, a hard series of lessons learned by the Kempeitai in Japan, Korea, China, and beyond. They had been instruments in immediate post-war, ensuring the co-prosperity sphere was secure. Kohaku himself hadn't played a significant role in that, but he had been briefed and trained on exactly what was done and how. And in turn, he would go about imparting that information on the Russians. It wasn't a perfect system, but it worked. Kohaku, after a brief seminar about information extraction and torture, had found himself sat at his desk in the front of a classroom, making some notes in Japanese to send back to his handlers in Harbin, specifically about the material and its clarity. As he wrote, he was interrupted by a knock at the door. "Come in." Kohaku spoke, his Russian heavily influenced by his Japanese accent. A younger black shirt, perhaps no older than 24, entered. It was typically unusual to see such young students, but Kohaku knew him. Laz Kozlov. It was a good study, he asked a lot of questions, and reputation for brutality was already known amongst peers. "Mr. Kohaku, I had a question about a seminar that I attended of yours a few days ago. You spoke about the suppression of dissent in recently conquered territories. When you spoke, you mentioned separating families and communities based on cultural lines. What if there are no variant cultural lines to separate?" It was a good question, Kohaku thought before responding. "Then you look forever differences. Peasant and noble, farmer and factory worker. Anyone can conquer, but to ensure those conquests remain, you must divide. Cultural lines are easiest to divide upon, but any division will work. If it gets done, the methodology not matter." There we go. Get convoys going. Can't go wrong with convoys. Managed to push relatively okay. Well, not push, but we're holding okay. I think that's my main thing right now. We're not being totally creamed. Maybe a little creamed, but not totally. Um, 58 infantry kit, I guess. Can let these guys keep attacking, although now we're not gonna do that. If their main idea of attacking is hitting into there, I think I'm good. There wasn't much in the way of soldiers' comforts for those who were part of the Vaz's all-Russian army. Harsh winter, harsh discipline, and harsh enemies were what a lot of the older soldiers claimed were the free harshes. But all fascist soldiers had to overcome to become a true man. This was entirely untrue, but it wouldn't be so accurate to paint Radzevsky's army as an entirely draconian organization. Morale was high, higher than ever been. Individuals like Yuri Orlov, a 16-year-old who had just lied about his age to join the army, was more than just unwilling conscripts. Orlov, who had lost his father during the war with the renegade in Magadan, was an ideological fanatic who'd been indoctrinated by both his father and his schooling. to believe in the RFP and the Vols as a paramount temporal authority on Earth. Star struck, and soon after his 16th birthday, Orlov went to the recruitment center and signed up for the army. Not exactly a perfect physical specimen, Orlov was a bit shorter than the most and certainly skinnier than what he should be. Likely result from malnutrition. That being said, he was an ideologically motivated as the most fanatical black shirt, and he wasn't the only one. Yuri found himself and his brothers after training one day with nothing to do, a rare moment in the righteous life of an all-Russian soldier. While his brother opted to go to church and then head back to the nearest town, Yuri decided to stay in the barracks and read. He obtained a series of pocket versions of the Vod's work from his local black shirt political officers, including the Azbuka Fajima and Contemporary Judiciation of the World, or the Jewish Question, in the 20th century. Both of the works were on the older side of the Vaz's publications, but Orlov had wanted to start from the beginning. Having stored his rifle properly in his casual dress, Orlov had laid back on his uncomfortable bunk and opened his pocketbook. The 16-year-old, who had never been exposed to any other ideology in his entire life, was enamored by the topics covered, including the toxicity of Bolshevism and the dangers of a Jewish conspiracy. When his friends came back from their day in town, he was excited to discuss with them all he had learned from the Vaz's writings. "Brothers, listen, you must be very wary of the Bolshevik." "Sure, buddy." Anyway, the Vaz's speech. The Free All-Russian Army marching forward and the domestic enemies lying behind, the All-Russian government has become fully prepared for the unification campaign ahead. It is an unfortunate fact that the first states to stand in the way of our mission are our former anti-communist allies, but at the same time their incoming humiliating defeat will solidify our image as a legitimate bearer of the white cause, and will eliminate the last nest of the white cause resistance against the fascist cause. So as soldiers prepare their arms, the party statesmen actively organize the war efforts, and the Russian workers are toiling in factories and manufactories. Vozdevsky prepares for his speech in the capital to identify our goals and inspire the Russian warriors. This day will mark the revival of the anti-Bolshevik crusade, slightly interrupted by traitors and the reunification of the Russian Far East anti-Bolshevik front under the banner of a swastika. That's something, certainly, I guess. Best bet might be to get another guy. But we have nothing in the way of infantry equipment, actually. So we can't exactly... We should hold on to that as well as we can. Heh. Cock. Doesn't seem so. Actually, it kind of seems funny to us. I mean, we can kind of work with that. Is that... What ideology is that guy? Paternalism. Pact observer. Okay. Oh. Well, these guys are divided. Go figure. United we stand, divided we fall, and all the other Pink Floyd lyrics. We must combat the influence of a communist from a Jew wherever we find it. We must systemically purge the rot of Bolshevism from throughout our people and throughout our nation, or we will not stand to ever become a real power, instead becoming a country fit for only the lowliest of world powers to tread upon. There are obstacles to our vision, but even the most insurmountable odds will not stop us when we have the power of a Slav, of our God, and the greatest of fighting wills. Remember the battle of Neva, where us Russians were faced against insurmountable odds and still triumphed. These were men motivated by God and nation, but had no knowledge of our cause. Think of what you, my soldiers, can achieve if we harness the power of our forefathers showed decades ago. Forward, my brave men, and prepare for a conflict with those who you once may have called brothers. For to defeat the Bolshevik and the Jew, we must first defeat the seditious traitors and renegades who took action against our movement. For God, nation, and labor. To the Vols, Konstantin Brzezinski gave a rousing and impassioned speech in his capital of Zaya, followed by a grand military parade that featured both the regular armed forces and the paramilitary blackshirts marching interlocked with one another, as well as the ceremony sliding of a number of effigies of the false Tsar and the renegade Magadan. The speech was incredibly well received, even among most of the common folk who were politely asked about it. The speech was even broadcast across the airwaves and had an incredibly rare move, also televised to the few Russians who had a television. The work, which would become known as the Zaya Balcony speech, roused the armed forces and officially announced Rozevsky's intention to reclaim the total leadership of the Russian Fascist Party and the false Tsar's farcical regime in Chita. Compared to the state that the Vols had not been in not a year ago, to seem reinvigorated and once again passionate against his enemies, it assuaged the fears of many of the black shirts in the military, who had begun to doubt his competency for leadership, falling aside into paranoia. Again, manpower, political power, war support, and the Smuta decisions. There we go. What we might want to do is increase the defenses. Also scavenge for loot. And here we go. 3 decades of exile avenged. We got a good couple options, it looks like. Uh-oh, social Darwinist. 3 decades of exile avenged. Failures repeated, humiliation compounded, indignation suffered. Harbin has been our refuge, our disgrace, and our prison. We've witnessed the slow collapse of our RFP until it is but a shell of its former self. A fate self-inflicted, wounds and beatings endured like a whipped dog, once content to accept its fate. No more. No more will we suffer this humiliation. No more will we accept this indignation. No more will we be content with the scraps we have retained. Our enemies have ruled long enough. It is time they be ended. Today, the fascists stand and declare enough. Now we will do more than repay the humiliation we have suffered. We will avenge it. And that's a pretty good place to end it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end it there. Thanks for watching, my friends. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.